So
On a
there's no,
personal note.
so all those men were lying. What do you mean?
No. You see,
pum
and
pum
I have to
because
look at
women
this camera,
told.
and now I'm talking to the women. I need you to stop listening to us men because we don't have a vagina. Unless you have learned how the vagina works, most men are selfish enough to say, oh, your vagina is a mutaro. No, the mutaro is not the problem. He has girth does not fit your vagina. As simple as that. It's as simple as that.
Hi guys, Murugi Munyi here.
It's Lydia KM.
And we're back again with another episode of
The messy in between.
It's definitely
TMI.
Yes! Thank
Fantastic.
you. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Messy In Between podcast. Today's episode is going to be long and amazing, so let's get the basics out of the way. Subscribe to our podcast.
Boom.
Follow us on TMI Podcast KE everywhere.
Done.
Lydia KM, Murugi
Done.
Munyi. Tell your cousins about us. Buy a ticket to our live experience. We have left
Boom.
the link down below. At this point, by the time you're watching it, maybe even we are sold out. This is the episode for 27th or something. Or 20-something, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
we're
so please-
almost. So it's next week.
Yeah, please buy a ticket, guys. We have amazing stuff planned for you for that
Yeah.
event. We have an amazing guest performance.
Oh,
if you I don't even know what to say, girl. I don't even know what to say. Lydia, anything to add to all the basics?
It's going to be a fantastic episode.
That's
And
it.
also, clutch your pearls. We're going to be talking about all the things.
Yeah.
So if you are watching on blast, reduce the volume.
In the office, if you're with your kids, send them away.
Earphones.
Send them away. That's it. Thank you, please. Guys, today we have an amazing, amazing guest in studio. First of all, he's been recommended by literally everybody. So many of you guys have asked, when is he coming on the podcast? Because this is the sex podcast. You guys always call us the sex podcast. So why not have the sex part himself come and join us here so we can be able to address some of your concerns, find out why some of you are continuing to have bad sex year after year. Year 1, you're having bad sex. You're now year 10 of your relationship, you're still having bad sex. Why? Guys, why? And that is why today on the podcast, we have the amazing vagina whisperer,
Thank you very much.
Maurice Matheka. Please introduce yourself in case this person who is watching has never heard of you.
Maurice Matheka, sexologist, have been a sexologist for the last 22 years. I mentor individuals, couples. I'm known as the guy who teaches women how to have the kind of orgasm that gets them to squirt. And I'm very happy to be here.
Yes. We're so excited to have him here. I heard you on another podcast and I was just like, in Africa.
Africa.
What a unicorn.
Yeah.
What a unicorn. And the fact that you're a man as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I absolutely loved it. So thank you so much
Super.
for the work that you do.
Thank you.
And we know you're going to give us a lot of information. So as Joe said, what we're talking about is why am I having bad sex?
Mm.
And you can maybe tell us some of the things that you've seen as reasons why people are having bad sex. And bad meaning they're not enjoying it.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but for you to know that you're having bad sex, there must be something to compare.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh, yeah?
Because I've met plenty of people who only had sex with one particular person,
Mm.
and until they had something else is when they realized that the sex they were having was bad. If you have nothing to compare,
Right.
you can't really know it's bad.
But sometimes you don't enjoy it, even though.
Yes, but some people don't know you're meant to enjoy it. For example, there's so many
Oh,
women
right.
who are not aware that sex is for both. Most women think, or not most, but those women who are not privy of the fact that sex can actually be enjoyable for her, think sex is only for the man.
Mm.
So she's never known sex that she's supposed to enjoy.
I
Actually, it's
cry.
normal.
Tear.
The little she enjoys or the little sensation she feels, as Kenyans say, kwambali, she thinks that's good sex.
Right.
Until she meets a Masimba who just channels different kind of sensations.
Not a Masimba.
Ooh,
Wow.
rah,
Wow. Yeah,
rah,
that's
rah.
amazing.
And then based on that is when she can say now, oh my God, I've been having bad sex.
Yeah.
Until then, you don't know.
Yeah.
I
I've
feel
actually
like-
been privy
Mhm,
to
go
a
ahead.
conversation where a man was talking about how he interacts with sex with his wife. And what he said is that, like, let's say they're chilling in bed and he says, Ikarawega, that's like sit properly in Kikuyu,
Right?
does what he does,
Okay.
gets out, and
Yes.
that's it.
Wait, does that sound kind of sexy?
Ah!
No, just like the Ikarawega part.
Oh.
Not the rest of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the vernacular part sounds sexy.
Yeah.
I don't think
Exactly.
the application will
Yeah,
be.
no, the vernacular part. Yeah. Ooh, that just sounds lovely.
Which means that they're having some sort of procreational kind of sex,
Exactly.
where it's just about doing the act and it's not really about any thrill or any pleasure that comes out of it.
Especially for her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's got a position where he will ejaculate at some point.
Yeah.
So that's assured.
That's
Even the
it.
guy who says the sex was boring,
yeah, but at least
he still
it's
ejaculates.
yes. Yeah, I feel like for most,
Yeah. For sure.
So that means then that there's no like standard of like this is good sex when now you orgasm and you orgasm, because you could orgasm and it's still bad sex. Is that what you're saying? Is that what we are saying?
No. Okay. There's the ejaculant of the man is not what makes sex good, unless that's all you want. You see, there are also different categories of men.
Yeah.
There are men who are selfish enough, they made sex about him. So if he ejaculates within a minute or two, that for him is the most amazing sex because he gets something out of it. He's never heard of 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. He has no idea what that's about.
Yeah.
And it's not really about the minutes, it's about what you're doing within that period of time. So for women, you have a vulva that has a vagina, and that vagina has nerve endings, and those nerve endings are attached to a G-spot. If that G-spot does not swell, then you'll never have an orgasm. Yet I've had clients who, when they came to me, they had an orgasm, but it was accidental. So she really doesn't know what happened, but there's a thrill that happened. Tries to replicate it with the same guy, nothing happens. But then now when you teach her vagina how to swell by itself, now the orgasms will happen. The only thing that is out of her control and out of my control, because women sometimes ask me very dangerous questions like, where do I get a Masimba? I'm like, but you already have one in the house, but he's not a Masimba.
Right.
The one thing I have to tell people is when most married people were getting married, the boxes they ticked, sex was not one of them.
Yeah, for sure. You're actually not encouraged to tick that box.
Yes, but the people who, and that's because the system doesn't care about good sex. It cares that you and I can reproduce.
That's it. That's
you and I can have a future. And then now between me and you decide what kind of future, whether we want to live large or we want to be settled or now the sex is our thing. It's what we do and that's why they came up with the whole behind closed doors. Yet that matters today's world.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
A lot of men always tell me, we object to what you do because you're highlighting that the vagina should be happy.
And it's work
does
to
that
make it.
not
Is it
shock
because
me
it's
at
work
all?
to make it happy, or
Okay. I think a lot of my species are just lazy, to be honest.
You don't gotta say that.
They're just
loud.
lazy. So it's not work because what you do for work to make money is far harder.
right?
If you learned how the vulva works, you wouldn't have a problem with being able to make a woman orgasm.
But then they would have
But-
to admit that they don't know truly how the vulva works.
Yes, Kumba, you know them very well. They'd have to admit that I do not know. Now, the thing is, I mean, even a lot of your audience who are women will know that every man is good in bed until you examine what is good in bed for him. There's no guy who's ever said, I have a fantastic heart, I can love you forever, but I'm pathetic in bed.
Yeah.
I haven't met that guy yet.
Right,
Yeah.
never.
But it's women now to enforce you're not as good as I say,
Yeah.
as you usually say.
It's for us
Especially
to stand up.
When I'm with you, you're going to climb chandelier kind of guy. He's usually the guy who can't deliver.
Yeah. Oh, right. The one who has a big talk.
Yes. But then again, because women are also you're part to blame for why you'll have bad sex.
For sure, yeah.
I'm the breed of man that I call Masimba. Now, in the scope of the larger pool of men, there's Mafisi's, which most people know, and then there's Makats. Now, these two guys are the majority. And the reason why I mention these two guys is they will always get the girl before us. Reason being, they're willing to put in the work, and the work they're willing to put in is not between your legs, but here.
Right.
Oh.
And the love bombing.
The liar.
If I meet either of you and I'm attracted to you, Mafisi will always challenge me because he's willing to reel you in with bullshit. But it's sellable bullshit.
Yeah.
And women have told me, you know what? Okay, fair enough. I kind of knew he was lying, but the lie just
It's so
sounded
sweet.
so
Yeah.
amazing.
So sweet.
Now, the problem with Masimbas is we don't like going down that route.
So you just be honest.
But I feel like Masimbas, do they put in effort to actually get the girl then? Because you have to be willing to put up some kind of a fight.
Yeah. But you see, the thing is, I need to put effort in a girl who does not fall for bullshit. That's my worth. If you're falling for bullshit, you deserve bullshit. But guess how this works?
This is my podcast, and you're not going to
guess
tell me
what?
the
But
truth
this
on
is
my
how it works.
podcast.
But this is how it's worked. This is how it works. And all the Masimbas who are out there know exactly how this works. You see, nothing's really failed. This is how we look at it. If I'm into either of you and you give Mafisi a chance before you give me a chance, Masimbas will usually tell you, you know what, it's fair enough. Kudos to the guy. But once you're done with him, holla. And you'll holla. Whether it's a year, 2 years, we're very patient.
How do we identify a Masimba?
Go.
You have your notes app open, baby.
Okay, the thing is, Masimbas will tell you exactly what they're seeing in the moment.
Like,
for example, if I meet you and you've got good bosoms, I'll tell you, by the way, your bosoms are very attractive. And I'll be very confident about it.
oh, I think I met one of them. One
Yes.
of
Wow, I love your figure. Your ass is spectacular.
But a lot of women run away from such guys. And it's because they tell me he was too forward, he was too fast. I think things were moving too fast. Yes, and I can see why Mafisi wins, because Mafisi, he also sells a bit of a futuristic view. Like if I hadn't met you, until I met you, I wasn't breathing kind of nonsense.
Oh, that sounds
And a lot of women like that. Now, I don't have time to tell you I'm not breathing, because I'm going to breathe. I've been breathing before I met you. And I'm still going to breathe you. Now, we need to understand how will we be breathing together. So you go and do your no breathing with Mafisi, then we can breathe together later on.
Do Masimbas put up a fight? Because I feel like if there's let's say there's a Fisi and there's a Simba, if it almost feels like Masimba comes with a bit of an ego. It's like, you guys know that I'm the better man, so you're not even willing to put up a fight
You do
against
not know
the
I'm the
lesser
better man.
No, you know as the Masimba, don't you know?
I know I'm better than him, but you don't know that I'm better than him. The thing is, I don't want this to be a fight.
Why?
I don't want it to be a fight.
Why not?
So I met a Masimba.
Yes.
And so... Am I embarrassed?
This? No, tell us.
So I met him. It was
Okay.
like I went to a concert, then I passed by somewhere to have food.
Right.
And then I ordered my food and I was waiting. And then he was having his food. So he called me over. He was like, oh, would you like to eat together or whatever? So I just looked at him. Obviously, got to see if he's cute. Then when I
Was
saw
he
his
cute?
he was. Then we went and sat down. We started talking about TMI or whatever, that he's seen TMI. Then we started talking about sex. And he started telling me how he wants to have sex with me. Yeah, it was a really interesting. It wasn't like vulgar or like weird.
But he was just being
Very
upfront.
forward.
Yes.
Were you
Yes.
uncomfortable?
100% uncomfortable. But
Oh.
it felt like the discomfort that I've been told I need to be uncomfortable
Oh,
more than I was
right.
actually uncomfortable.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that is why Masimba will just let you go if you're not engaging him
Yeah.
in the frequency that he's in. We don't have to fight for you. And the thing is this, he had to approach you.
Yeah.
A lot of women tend to be attracted to a guy first, then you give him the signal to then
That's
come
true.
to you.
Yeah.
You give signals to more Mafisis than you do to Masimbas. Because Mafisis are also selling themselves in a certain way.
Yeah.
He wants to lock eyes with you all the time. He's showing you that I want your attention. So why aren't you looking at me?
Yeah.
Whereas I'll look at you, but I'm not going to look like I'm desperate for it.
Yeah. It felt like he had kind of taken down a wall. Like he had put me in a vulnerable position so early, because usually this comes later. So it just felt like, wow, naked. You were just here naked.
You see that later you're talking about? That kills the whole be spontaneous.
Right.
Because I also get a lot of women who tell me, I met the Mafisi. He really said all the right things that I wanted to hear. I even made him wait to see whether he really wants this coochie or not. But after the wait, Maurice, I wish I'd just shagged him in the first day. Because then I'd have just
So you
gotten
just
rid of
be
him.
They just get it
Because it
over
was
and done
really bad.
with. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
In our head, he has done crazy things to her based on what they've been chatting and talking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But eventually when they meet, no
There's
delivery,
nothing.
Do the Masimba, do they have capacity to be able to like seem desperate for me? Because me, I feel like there's an element of that is so sex. Like I want it to feel like you literally need me, like not just
For
like
sure,
want
he didn't.
me.
He didn't.
That's the issue. It's just like it can't just be like, oh, that would be really nice to be with you. No, it needs to be like, I need you.
Okay, the thing is this. Masimba are not going to go down that road because, yes, I want you, but I've already had before.
See, I don't like that.
Yeah, fair enough. But then you'll never know what I deliver. Hence why you like the guy who has to crawl towards you, and that guy he'll never stimulate your vagina the way it needs to be stimulated.
And I know for sure this one, that
So
one.
did you give your number?
I don't want to be asked questions.
Waste, man.
Anyway, assuming that someone has had enough experience to know what bad sex is.
Yes.
Now, what are the things that you've seen that makes it bad sex?
From the woman's
From the
perspective?
women's perspective, yeah.
Okay, you're women. So one of the things that a woman wants to do is she wants to have some satisfaction out of it.
Mhm.
She wants to have at least an orgasm
Mhm.
that she can tell herself it was worth the whole session with the guy.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't know how to deliver that,
Mhm.
especially if the guy who just, for example, if it's intercourse, he just does it hoping for the best.
Mhm.
I've tried to teach a lot of men,
Yeah.
and most men are not teachable.
Mm.
There's a segment that are.
Yeah.
The one I call the Masimba because I meet them. When I meet them, I know him.
Mm.
When we have a session with him, I know him.
Mm.
He gets stuff done. Like
Yeah.
he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
He says, I know so much, but I don't know a few of these things.
Mm.
And he's not proud. He's
Ooh.
willing to learn.
Mm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like
Whereas
2%
Amafisi,
of the
I know
population.
him very well
Mm.
because he comes to teach me.
Yeah.
Yet he's booked me.
Yeah.
How does that even work? And what you do is you give him a bit of the reins so that he takes control, but then he makes a fool out of himself because he can't do anything.
Yeah.
Dude, you call me, I didn't call you.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Do they usually come with their partners, or you have like a standalone model who?
Some will come with partners. Some will not come with partners. They'll come with a model. But now on the partners thing, if I'm looking at what Kenyans do, only 10% of the package that I have for couples is you and your husband. It's usually you and somebody else's husband. That's what I'm used to. But that's because we're Kenyans.
Bloody hell.
It's just the way it is.
So I just want to secrecy by these people.
No, I'll never mention names. I've met hundreds. I've never mentioned a name. That's not my business. But I will mention what Kenya looks like.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, it doesn't trouble me because I'm not about morality. If I had morals, I wouldn't be a sexologist.
We're way
Yeah.
past there.
So
yeah.
question, are they is it because with this dynamic of like the woman on the side and the man,
Yes.
he's able to be more
Freer.
free,
Correct.
right? Oh.
Side people are far freer with one another than main people.
Why is that, would you say?
I think it's because one of the things we need to do is we need to relinquish traditions. When I'm hitting on you, I'm not traditional. When I'm telling you all the things, I want to smack your ass, I don't know what, blah, 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 ice cream, strawberries. But somehow, when we're heading towards these orashos and all these weddings, then the Kilungu traditional man in me hits me. You take on what women in your village look like. So now the dynamic of us being free with one another starts to die. All the road trips we used to do together, now it's like, it used to be 9 out of 10. Now it's almost like 3 out of 10.
Because there's
At some
3
point it'll be
kids and
0.
bills.
No. It's, by the way, let me tell you, it's not kids. Because a lot of people doing a lot of fuckery in Kenya have kids. They just find a way to balance shit out.
Right. Yeah.
So if you're holding your vagina hostage because of your kids need to take you to court. They need, for real, they need to sue you. Because I know plenty of women who have kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, but guess what? Her vagina is dabbled on more than a woman who has no kids. So stop coming up with the kids thing. It's not kids. When you want to have fun, you will find time for your fun.
That's true.
It's down to how much energy do you want to put into it.
Yeah.
If humans put in half the effort they do in making money into their sex lives, I'd probably be out of business. Fact.
Yeah.
But we put business and all the other things, career, what car, where we want to live, before the sex. The sex becomes a by the way.
Yeah. This is how I feel about wellness. Yeah, I see that how everything is about money. Money is top priority for people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's true. Wellness is not.
Yeah, it's not. No, not at all.
Somebody will give you an array of all the things they've done, but then you'll ask them, so you realize the reason why you're complaining about bad sex is because you don't make it a priority. There is procreational sex. There's recreational sex. Recreational sex is what I teach my clients. It's like when you decide you're taking your kids to a play center to play. That's recreational sex.
Right.
The problem is we have too much lovey-dovey sex.
And I'm against that lovey-dovey sex.
Lovey-dovey sex is
I
boring.
love
I- she-
lovey-dovey.
she-
But no, here's the thing. Yeah, I want it to be nasty, but I want to be connected with the person I'm having the nasty sex.
No, the connection is not the problem. Lovey-dovey is where the connection is stale.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
No.
It's do you know what I'm saying? It's based on I need to have sex with you. It's not that I have to have it or I really want to do it. I need to have it so that there's harmony in the house.
Oh, right.
Oh,
That's the
that's
lovey-dovey
yeah.
I'm talking about. The even the guys who are having an affair, there's no one on the planet who does not have some kind of affection towards somebody. Yes, we try and make them look like it's just fun, it's an affair, it's a fling. I'm sorry, there are certain emotions you'll have in a fling you've probably never had in a marriage. There's a way you look at somebody, there's a way when they look at you, they just tear you apart, like you just want to remove your clothes, yet your person has never done that for you.
Or maybe they did at the very beginning and it's just like it's not there anymore.
Okay, that's the flowery version that you want. Fair enough. But there's a lot of people who have never had
I
it.
hate it here, man.
Never had it. Like, never.
Oh, really?
And what I've noticed is women tend to tell their truth when they're above 35 years old.
You're not yet.
Yeah.
No, it's when their truth comes out. When I meet women, like especially women who are now heading towards 40, is when they will tell you, okay, you know what? I used to be in this bubble. Now I'm not in that bubble. I bust the bubble.
Yeah.
And what I saw outside the bubble was, oh my God, I've wasted a lot of me because I made it about somebody else. Are there women who are younger than that figuring out? Yes, but the majority figure it out once the love bubble is out. And it's because you give too much power to the idea of being in love. I've met too many women who they were not in love with their husband, but they were more in love with the idea of having a husband.
Yeah, no, that makes
Well,
sense.
that's definitely
Actually,
a thing.
decentering love, decentering romantic love and the story around it is one of my works currently.
Yes.
Because it's not even the men, it's the story.
And they put value to having that status. And that's why so many people run for the status without knowing the person.
Right.
Today, even when I'm dealing with Gen Zs, they're very different.
Oh,
Today, I'm
they're-
dealing with Gen Zs who are telling me, you know what? I've signed up for 3 months and me, I want out. Because this nigga didn't tell me he was going to leave me in the house. He was slapping and tickling me just 6 months ago. But since all the family functions and everything, and now that he's put a ring on it, I really want to give him back the ring. I want my boyfriend back.
Right.
The husband version is not doing too well.
Okay, may I have a question? Asking
Yes.
as someone who's married 7 years
Right.
with 3 kids.
Right.
Do you genuinely believe that it's possible to maintain that same fire and passion that you had at the very beginning throughout as like your love matures? Because I've said here on the podcast before, it's like the sex can be good, but it's like it almost like develops into a different kind of good sex. So it's like, whereas at the beginning it was like, oh my God, I want you, I can't wait to get in the house and like tear your clothes off. Now it's more of like a settled, you know what I like, I know what you like, and like it's safe and, you know, affirming kind of thing. Is it possible for you to actually remain as that like passionate, oh my God, as it was in the
All the
beginning?
time,
yeah,
yeah.
is it possible?
Is it possible? Yes. Is it possible for most people? No. But I'll tell you why it's not possible for most people. It's because your psychology towards the two of you starts to change.
Right.
I still need to not be, like, for example, when we met, I was Maurice, sometime maybe Matheka, but I'm Maurice. Yes? Now I am Mr. Matheka. Yeah? That channels a very different energy. Very different energy. There needs to be a time, first and foremost, most people don't do this. They don't even have hobbies. So this one, I'm not even surprised they don't do it. You cannot sustain a sexual relationship if you do not have play dates. Play dates is not in your bedroom. In your bedroom, you do a lot of messy shit.
Yeah.
That's the same place you have sex, but it's also the same place where you argue over so many things. So the energy in that bedroom is really bad. Yeah, I don't care how many candles and how many priests you bring to that room, it's just tainted. You need to put effort in having play dates, you and your husband, but you do not go to Diani or Zanzibar or SA as man and wife. Babe, when we get on that plane, you are my chick, I am your dude, vice versa. If we have to change our name, if I need to be Clark and you're Lewis until we come back. And then now, let's not get to SA and then you start talking to the kids. Because Clark doesn't have any kids.
See, I don't.
Lewis
Joe.
has no kids. So why have you kidnapped other people's kids? Why are you talking to other people's kids? See, we agreed. Who am I? Clark. Who are you?
Yes.
Lewis. So why are you talking to other people's? I've taken up the model of being who? Clark. I can see how she's struggling because you think, oh my kid. No. You need to remember, before these munchkins came, it was just me and you.
Yeah.
Can we rekindle just me and you without them?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Is it because our identity is swallowed up in all of these
Totally.
other titles?
And it's also hard for me to have an erection with a woman who I've shared so much bullshit with. I stop seeing the sexual part of you. All other men want you, but it's not that I don't want you. Yes, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, when I get home, I just want to do things to her. That's the energy I'm channeling. But when we get home,
Did you call the
the
mechanic?
first thing, there you
Did
go.
you call the mechanic?
She knows where I was going.
Yeah, and remember, Tana needs to be picked up tomorrow at 3:30.
But then, did you hear what happened to the Woti? Who cares about the Woti unless he's going to have a threesome with us? Why is that energy being thrown at me? So by the time we're getting to the bedroom, what have I heard? Who
Woti,
needs to
the
be
kids,
Woti,
the
what,
what,
Nini,
them
her
electrician.
mother, electrician, and there's nothing to give me an erection unless I've got a fetish for all these guys.
My nervous system is so dysregulated right now.
But
I
that
don't know
seems like
why.
something I
don't
can't
know
control.
why.
You see, it's like
no.
what can be
No,
controlled?
but how
'Cause-
come you control it as women and men when we're having an affair?
Well,
When
okay,
we're
that's
fucking
different.
somebody on the side, we usually tell them, hold on, let me talk to the OT. No, you don't even know who the fucking OT. You can't even remember yourself. Because you've got all these neurochemicals telling you, wow, I cannot believe we're here together. Let's do this. You want to bang in every surface. What is it? You're the same person. How come you can channel this energy now? Attitude. Once our attitudes towards one another starts changing, then it's not sustainable. As long as we have play dates is the only time you go. For example, if the three of us were signed up to do a play and we have different names, and I had to be a Casanova, whatever it is, I'll have to really play that part the best of my ability, hopefully to get an Oscar, correct? And the same for you guys. If we did that in our marriages, would have great sex. I would rather a couple that tells me when we have play dates, we have at least 6 every year. That's bi-monthly.
And what are you defining play dates, by the way?
Play dates is where we're not having the monotony of we're having sex 2-3 times because one of you is horny, so we're facilitating for the other person's horniness. That's not good sex. That makes sex uninteresting. It makes other people more interesting.
Yeah.
The sex where you have to have sex. Because I meet too many couples, and I've done this for 22 years, who, Matheka, sometimes we have sex twice in a week. So next week, I now have to up my game. We at least do 4-5, because my person will then be happy. Why are you treating your person like kids? That's like giving people candy. Like, and all you're doing is spreading your legs or trying to have an erection. It's not sustainable.
We thought he was a guest for you guys, but turns out, my good
I
friends,
actually regret this decision
what a
personally. It's just-
mistake.
It's what
a big mistake.
And what you're saying, it's giving requires effort. Like effort, right?
like work.
Like work.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah, but it also requires effort to suck the other guy's knob, which you do so well. You've got a PhD in it. You find time. You find time to hide your car. You find time to call an Uber. You find time to get your friend to pick you up. You find time to print, letter-headed stuff that says you're going for a seminar for 4 nights. You have so much time just so you're not willing to do it for your person. Then I'll agree with you.
But you
Until
see,
then-
okay,
Let's
this
get
is
into the
right.
dilemmas.
No, wait first. No, let's follow this. Now that we are the rabbit on this road, let's just go down this road. And me, I'm purely, just like hypothetical.
Hypothetically
Purely hypothetical.
speaking.
Okay.
Anyone with 3 kids
God.
and married
Hypotheticals.
7 years. This is it.
Yes.
You see, with that other person who you're hypothetically doing that other something with, it's
Yeah.
like there's no, you see, even if you're trying in your mind to forget the fact that you have these 3 kids who have these needs and there were these bills and there was this conversation, even if you forget, it's still there. It's a constant looming above the two of you that there are these other responsibilities and there are these bills and there's this thing and there's this whatever we're supposed to be going to and there's the rurashio for the weekend and what. And it's our kid's birthday this Sunday, which it is, by the way. Happy birthday, Mukeni. She's never gonna see this, but so happy. But you see, there's all those things. How can you can't ignore the fact that, you see, with that other person, those things just don't exist. It's only me, you, and sex. That's it. There's nothing else. So obviously it's easy to just have the time to do that. But this other one, there's so many things.
And that is my point.
Mm.
When you described what it looks like to be a main man with you, and then you described what the only sex guy gets, I want to be the only sex guy. I want to be side guy. I've got side guy qualities. I can deal with
No,
this.
you want a
no,
home.
But no. Listen. Where there's no orgasms, yeah, it's not working too well for your vagina. Let's just put it that way. Your conscious mind is lying to your vagina right now. My point is this. I agree with you that there's so many things happening, and that's why I'm advocating for these play dates, not the mundane sex you have to have every week, because he saw you're horny, so he has to negotiate with his penis whether he can have an erection for you because he wasn't feeling it, but he has to do it for harmony. You then next week realize he's hornier than you, then now you have to spread your legs for him. As in that's what a lot of couples deal with. But have play dates. And those play dates, trust me, what they'll do is they'll reduce the useless sex you have in the week because you look forward to it. If I was asked, would you rather have sex 5 times a week, or will you look forward to amazing, crazy sex where a woman is just squirting in your mouth and you're drinking the squirt and just everything is working and goose pimples and she's sucking me out and she's swallowing and sometimes she gives me as well because I don't mind swallowing some protein, man. It's good. If I had to think about that, I would go with the kinky night any day. It's always better than the, I can see she's in the mood. Ooh, I can see he's in the mood. That at some point plays out to be very boring, especially for the woman who has a guy who needs to ejaculate very frequently. And he'll tell you that, he has sex with you so many times because he loves you. That's crap. He does it because his body is optimized to produce semen. So that semen challenges him and says, we need an offload. You're the only person that he can dispense his semen. So now you're dealing with a semen dispenser in your house. And even after he lies to you that, babe, I'm always horny for you, blah, 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 your vagina starts to send you messages that, okay, us guys are not as horny, we're not enjoying this. So, and as you grow up is why I'm saying now, the 35-year-old and above realizes that this was just crap. This guy was just using me. He had a body was optimized because she may have dated somebody else who, because of some underlying issue, was not producing as much semen. So he was not always in the mood. It's a factory that we have. The more you produce, the more it wants to come out. It's as simple as that. The problem is we've now romanticized the physiology of a man. I know that as long as I'm optimized and my testicles are producing enough sperm, when I'm in my sleep, I'll have some kind of wet dream. It's a bit daunting now that I'm a bit older. It was easier when I was younger, but I realized, I used to be like, oh my God, what's this happening? And then you realize the science is, oh my God, my testicles are actually working. But now where am I offloading? Am I either masturbating or having sex with somebody? As simple as that. But then now we are taught to say, so that you deliver better sex, say something sweet. No, it's only you that I thought of.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Really, no, my boys are just saying, nigga, we need somebody out. That's it.
All right, do you know what? Let somebody else get an quad.
Before you ask a question, sorry, can I just say one thing? No, let me give you an opportunity because you've mentioned when couples come to me, when women come to me, maybe you can tell the audience what packages you have, like for consultation, for therapy, whatever it is that you offer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will leave his details
Yeah,
below.
we'll also leave his details. Yeah.
The most common one is where women want to learn about how to have an orgasm, how to squirt, how to basically learn how their vulva functions on my site, which is mauricetherapy.com. That's package 4, which I charge 50,000. When it comes to consult an individual, I charge 10K, and for couples, I charge 15. And that's for us to just meet and for me to profile exactly what's happening. Because sometimes on the phone, you may tell me this is the problem, but as we have our sessions, I realize that there's another core problem to the unity.
Yeah.
A majority of your clients women or men?
Women.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's not shocking.
Men are like 5 to 8% in the year.
Mm.
It never changes.
And are they pushed by their women to come, or
No.
do most come
Actually,
willingly?
probably out of that 5%, 3-4% are the Masimbas I was talking about.
Oh, right.
It's the guy who wants to learn a bit more so that he can, his delivery sexually can be better.
Right.
Yeah.
Guys, do yourself a favor. Send your man this video right now.
Yeah, let's just
send it.
watch it. Let's
Send
just watch it
be
for
like,
fun.
yeah, let's just like, yeah.
For fun, for
this is
vibes.
A new movie on somewhere. This is
Yeah.
it. This is the movie. Send it to him.
So
right
we
now.
had asked you, we told you guys to be following us on social media, and we had asked on the question box, what are some of your sex dilemmas? So we're gonna read them out, and he's going to answer. As you can see, this is a tone. So don't go getting your feelings hurt.
My edges are already snatched. I already have no edges.
Don't
so
go getting your feelings
Here we
hurt. This is just
Ooh,
what
girl.
we are doing.
Mm-mm-mm.
So this one, so for my sex dilemma is I enjoy clitoral stimulation a lot and I orgasm a lot from it. But when it comes to penetrative sex, I feel so much pain. I have tried different sex positions, but can't seem to get a hang of it. What do I do?
The sex positions are not your problem. They'll never help.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're using your vagina has no idea what position you're in. She just relates to stimulus. So the first thing we need to do is we need to work on her.
Mm.
If you're having pain, that means you're not having spasms that self-lubricate.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not self-lubricating, then you're not going to have an enjoyable experience, especially if it's penetrative.
Yeah.
So one of the things we need to do is we need to make sure your G-spot membrane starts to swell. When it swells, it triggers the entire vulva to start working. And that's why you find the vulva starts to spread. Hence why there's no such thing as a tight vagina, because that was formulated by guys who have just small penises or small girth. I'm old enough to say that. Plus, I've had experience with the vaginas.
So
On a
there's no.
personal note.
So all those men were lying. What do you mean?
No. You see,
A pum
and
pum
I
tie.
have to
because
look at
women
this camera.
told.
And now I'm talking to the women. I need you to stop listening to us men because we don't have a vagina. Unless you have learned how the vagina works, most men are selfish enough to say, oh, your vagina is a mutaro. No, the mutaro is not the problem. He has girth does not fit your vagina. As simple as that. It's as simple as that. And you see, one issue that a lot of people never talk about is husbands will at some point, based on how much their perception of their wife comes to be, have issues with girth. Like he has a sizable penis, but the amount of blood going to his girth starts to reduce. So he starts to feel over time like he's floating in your vagina. Nothing's changed other than his mentality towards you. That's why you find men saying, whenever he's on a road trip, his penis actually feels and bigger than usual. And that's fact. The more excited you are as a man, the more blood flow. If you're just doing it for the sake of penetration and the sake of harmony in the house, then your psyche will only enforce a certain limited volume of blood to your penis.
This is everyone's.
But
face,
then
by the
now
way.
he has to say you're the problem because he's not even aware he's the problem.
Right. Yeah.
He's got to say.
So sometimes he's not even
Someone's
being
gotta be the
selfish
problem.
or rude. He just doesn't know how not to protect himself. The one thing men will always do first is we'll protect ourselves first.
For sure.
Until it's discovered I'm the problem, I have to make you the problem. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's our job to stand up and push back and come with facts by knowing your vagina, which Maurice can
It's
teach.
like men who body shame and talk about women who have saggy boobs. He never sucks them. So why is he so bothered about saggy? And guess what? If you're on top of him, the saggier the better, because then they start swinging like Tarzan, slapping your face and stuff. You know, it's just amazing. You need to be creative. And these men who want stagnant, like when I was in England, I dated a chick who had double D breasts, but psychologically, the Mukamba in me knew these were fake.
Oh, right.
I wasn't too good with, because, When you slap it, it can't slap you back. It doesn't move.
Oh my God. I can't wait
So it's
to
a bit
see
of an exaggeration. I think
the
a lot of
snippets.
men who probably see vagina by chance are projecting their failures as sexual alphas, which they're not. Because men with good girth never complain about the vagina. It's never. Because they always stretch it pretty well, regardless.
Oof. You heard that.
You heard it here
So
first.
if you're
that.
man, clip
Clip
that.
In
Let
fact,
that one be the
Mrs.
snippet.
Mrs. Snippet.
Yeah.
Mrs.
Here it is.
Snippet.
There's your
Get
snippet.
your snippet.
Thank you.
Get your snippet.
Question.
Yes.
Where does your profession as a sexologist intersect with like gynecology? Like how when people come to you and they're just like, oh, I'm feeling pain during sex or whatever. At what point do you know they actually just have an issue and they need to go and see a doctor?
Okay, it's a good question because sometimes, depending on what they've explained, I've heard it often enough to know it's not really about the intercourse. She has something that only a gyna can help her with.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Whereas sometimes she will describe, like for example, she'll call me and she says, with my man, it's always painful. But there's another guy. The minute she tells me there's another guy,
Now
I
you
understand
know.
exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other guy has a way of influencing her vagina to be very happy, whereas whatever it's happening with the man, it's more based on a procreational design of the relationship.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it
All right.
depends on the information I'm getting from the woman.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Next question. Hi, TMI. I love you guys. We love you too. My sex dilemma is when my man starts kissing me and touching me, suggesting he wants some, I get a panic attack every time before I get turned on. It's so bad I feel my body and head hurting physically. He's the sweetest and sexiest man ever, but I have always been plagued by this irrational fear ever since I can remember. Once I am able to fight it, I now get in the mood and I'm able to have sex. Could it be from some childhood trauma that I don't remember?
Oh.
It could be. I was listening to the question, and then there's something like it's been happening forever. Because then I was going to ask, is it just this guy?
Yeah.
She may have traumas, but now it's so broad you can't tell her exactly what it is.
Right.
And sometimes, if I knew a woman has a panic attack, it would help for me to know, so I can ease her
Right.
mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There must be a reason. We could talk enough for me to be able to deduce. Not all of us need to be professional at this, but sometimes you just have a sixth sense of why somebody behaves the way they do. So, and part of that attack could be the fact that she's also not sharing with him.
Yeah.
Probably.
She's trying to be Miss Perfect. Sometimes just tell me, babe, sometime when we're making out, I get an attack. Now let's have a conversation about this.
Right.
Let's see how I can be part of your therapy.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm anxious.
But yes,
I'm
but
scared,
when
I'm
it's
tired.
just about her, and she needs to be Miss Perfect, and oh my God, am I kissing him well? Blah, 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 blah. Because clearly she finds him very attractive
Yeah.
based on what she's described.
Yeah.
So she may also be putting a lot of pressure on herself
Right. Yeah.
to be so perfect.
Yeah. What came first? Wanting to be Miss Perfect or appeasing the male ego?
I think the two go together.
Work together.
Yeah, because she's trying to appease him.
Yeah.
She's trying to be Miss Perfect
To
you
appease him. Yeah. That's the thing. Actually, to be honest, all the bad sex I've ever had was stemming from that.
And that's how we were all raised.
Always,
it's just
yeah.
like that's literally was your role in bed is to make sure that he's happy.
Yeah.
So
And wanting to sit in discomfort. Like, yeah, I didn't orgasm.
Yeah,
Let's
but,
sit in it.
let's both feel awkward. Mhm.
and that was the case for a very long time.
Yeah.
So things need to change.
Definitely.
Oh my God.
Okay, another dilemma. My question for Maurice is, how do you have sex if you have vulvodynia?
Where there's a pain.
Yeah, and what really causes vulvodynia? Because one day we were okay and able to have sex, and the next day you can't stand the thought of having it because of the condition. If you can help, Ata advise, I'll appreciate. So it's changed. They used to have sex, then now it's different.
To be honest, any woman who's ever had that condition, I can't help you by just telling you what may have happened, because now I'm a bit confused when she said that it was not always the case. Because I have met women who have never had any pleasure because it feels like somebody's stabbing her. Yeah. And we can only rectify that after 3-4 sessions. Not easy to do. So in her case, it might not be as severe, but I'd need to have a session with her.
Mm.
So at least I can see which part of our nerve endings
Mm.
are responding
Mm.
well or not well.
Yeah.
Unless I examine that,
Mm.
it's just fluke. I'm just
Mm.
talking in the wind.
Okay, so
Yes.
when someone does come to this consultation,
Yes.
okay, so how does it go? Let's say I've come for
I'm
I've come
here.
for a session or a couple of sessions, and I
Yes.
have, like, let's say this is our condition.
Yeah.
How does it actually go?
One, we have to meet at a venue where you have to undress, because
Mhm.
I need to examine your vagina.
Mhm.
And I need to see what areas of your vagina are causing you that pain.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's as simple as,
Mm.
because of some form of trauma, sexual trauma, the vulva starts to contract instead of pushing out.
Mm.
Okay. Mhm.
Once it starts to contract,
Mm.
that's pain.
Mm.
It's like if I tickle you and you're going like, oh my God, oh, I love that, then you're good. But the minute you crunch,
Mm.
then my nail could even inflict you in a negative way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I need to examine her vagina to know which part of vagina is not functioning as it should.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I can only do that when we meet.
All right.
Right. Okay, fine. Here is mine. Hey Murugi, so mine is a frustration. I'd like to know if it's possible for a man to be so addicted to masturbation that he can never come even after doing all dangerous styles to satisfy him. It's been 5 years, he has never come unless he pulls out and masturbates. Is it reversible the addiction, because it's really not giving? Also, could it be that he's not sexually attracted to me? I've heard that rumor. Maybe this expert could help assist her.
Okay. The fact that he can have an erection
Mm-hmm.
and penetrate you means there is some form of attraction.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Why he's not able to ejaculate inside you could be as simple as he likes the feel of his hand
Better.
better. It
Mhm.
stimulates. And let's not romanticize this, yeah? Because when we start saying, oh, but if you loved me, then you wouldn't. No, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Then we'll start telling people, oh, if you loved me, then you'd eat ice cream, even though it could kill you, or nuts. Let's not go down.
Mhm.
That's his thing.
Mhm.
She hasn't mentioned whether she knew about the masturbation, because he said he has masturbated for years.
Mm.
It's been 5 years of their relationship and it's always been this way.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, which tells me that it's beyond the masturbation.
Mm.
It's just the fact that he may also have the fear of getting her pregnant. There's so many things to it.
Oh, yeah, okay, that could be a factor.
But he'll never tell her.
Mm.
So she now has to engage her brain and say, he's either not into me, but he's having an erection, so clearly he is. And then he would not be having sex with you for 5 years continuously if he wasn't into you.
Right.
So she needs to be in a place where there's no guesswork. They literally, and I find this strange, couples hate talking about things that may just ruin the relationship a bit, but they're the ones that make the relationship stronger.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're supposed to sit down and go like, you know what, babe, I'm not judging you, but just make me understand how ejaculating outside me became a thing.
Yeah.
If I can understand that, then she might say, oh, that was it. Oh, Kuma's not as crazy as, because let's put it this way. If he does ejaculate and then she gets pregnant and then he doesn't want the pregnancy, that's another way for us to judge him. So he may have just taught himself the safest way is to just
Come out and
come out
masturbate.
and jerk myself off.
So me, I've been in this kind of relationship actually, and a guy who I dated, like I think I must have been like my early 20s or something. And I remember the feeling of like every single time when he was just about, well, not really just about, but maybe like a few minutes too, he would come out and masturbate and he would come. And for me, the feeling was almost like inadequacy to some extent. Like I've not even thought about like, oh, why would he want to do it? For me, it just felt like, why are you not being able to complete inside me? You see? So, and then I would not ask the question because like maybe you're scared of what the answer will be. Maybe the answer will be something I can't live with.
And guess what? That's the reason why we're in a relationship. So we can deal with the good and the bad. Everyone knows how to deal with the good. No one wants to talk about the bad. And because you've used the word finish, you've just reminded me there's another reason why this could be. When a man ejaculates in a vagina, for a lot of men, that's the end unless he takes a rest. Or for some, it's until tomorrow. However, when he ejaculates outside you, there's a trigger system in the mind that tells him that he can still have another erection and want to be inside you. It's been tried and tested by so many men. There's something about ejaculating in your vagina that's a final thing. Even the energy he uses and dispenses is far stronger than if he just masturbated outside you. Because then he may just need to relax and then you have another session.
Right.
Whereas for a lot of men, once they ejaculate, that's the end. Until now, he can do it again.
Yeah. Can I ask, do you help people who have like, because we've been someone has reached out about masturbation addiction like consistently. This is something we've heard quite often.
Yes.
So do you help people to deal with that and sex addiction?
Yes, but then I need to profile what it is that they're calling addiction. Like, for example, if somebody masturbates 3-4 times a week, is that addiction? In my book, no, it's not.
Isn't it addiction more about the dependency of something?
Addiction is, because I've met them, addiction is a guy who can tell you that when I was in the office, I went to the washroom, I masturbated 4 times. I left, I went for another meeting. When I was at that meeting, I went to another washroom, masturbated. Everywhere he goes, he just masturbates. Now that's a chronic problem.
Yeah.
Right.
But isn't sometimes addiction about the dependency? Even if it's 3 times, they're unable to go. Like they have to do it.
But don't you take coffee and tea? Why is masturbation a problem?
Yeah,
The
because what is
people-
dependency?
the people-
Dependency is like
no, I
yeah.
think it's only when it comes to sex that we start using things like dependency. A lot of people are dependent on tea and coffee. We don't tell them.
I was dependent on sugar. So I don't use that just when it comes to sex.
Yeah.
I have a sugar dependency.
No,
I'm
but
working
it wasn't
through.
really a dependency because for you to just stop, just be like, oh, I'm not going to take it for a month. You weren't actually dependent. You
I
just
had
really
to push
liked
through
it.
out of it.
You really
and,
liked it.
No.
But you're
and,
dependent.
and there's something that people forget. Most human beings are not fully optimized today sexually because of our foods. So when somebody says, I struggle to get turned on, or I struggle to, let's say it's a man, I struggle to have an erection, or I don't get turned on as I used to when I was 19. Today, that 19-year-old is struggling to have an erection as if he's 40 based on diet.
Really?
So what we've done is we've learned to crucify the person who has an optimized sex drive. So if somebody says, I can have sex twice a day, you're an addict. No, they have an optimized body. If you look at what they eat right, they gym right, they take walks, they breathe right. That's why they're optimized. We're used to the majority of people who have underlying problems, so they're not that sexually driven. So the less sexually driven you are, the normal you are. And that's why in Kenya we love that word, normal. Is it normal to have 20 orgasms? Nobody asks, is it normal not to have an orgasm for 20 years? But is it normal to have 20? The problem is having 20. The problem is not ever having over 20 years. So we've glorified negativity.
Right.
It's negative for a woman to go for 30 years in marriage and never have an orgasm. I meet them. They never say, is this normal? But the minute she can squat, Matheka, I squatted 5 times. Is that normal? Well, it depends on where you were.
Right.
And even the word normal does not apply.
Yeah. But you do. If someone, you would need to
Yes,
quantify.
I would. I can help them,
Okay.
but I need to profile what their actual problem is.
Okay.
So yes, I've helped such people.
Okay, so another one. What does it mean for me if I've never orgasms with any of the partners I've had in my relationships, unless I'm thinking of someone else doing something intimate to me? It's not even people I'm attracted to or people I wish to sleep with. I fantasize about. It's not those. And it's so worrying because I've been with people who are actually really good in bed. Am I the problem? Same to masturbations. I have to imagine someone else who I'm not in a current relationship with to achieve orgasm. And it's the randomness of people. It's freaking me out and I kind of feel guilty about it always.
Maybe random is what turns her on.
Yeah.
Women wouldn't want
you
to
see,
admit that.
No.
Yeah.
Random is what turns you on. These people you're saying they're really good in bed. Clearly they're not, because they're not giving you an orgasm. So they're not good in bed. You'd like them to be good in bed, but they're not good in bed.
By good in
Your
bed,
version of
they're
good in
doing
bed.
the things which they see in porn.
You see, they're probably huffing and puffing. They probably have the muscles she likes or the physique she likes. She's having an aerial view of the guy there looking all masculine and
That's
doing his
it,
shit and stuff
that's
like
it.
that. But he might as well be playing tennis because he's doing nothing for your vagina.
Paddle.
So he's not good in bed. He's doing something. He's probably moaning louder than you, so even the neighbors think that he's fucking himself, but he's not good in bed.
Damn.
And that's why I said, let's move away. We love protecting the other person. We don't protect ourselves.
Enough. Yeah.
Because what I've heard there is something about my psyche sexually that I'm not aligning to. She's aligning to what society wants her to be. And her brain is already telling her sexually, we like random.
Right.
Yes.
By the way, what my therapist says is this distinction that comes with like what you're being told to be and what you're, and then really
How
what
you
the
actually
truth-
feel.
what
yeah.
triggers you are two
Yeah,
different things.
yeah.
Two different things.
Are they sometimes not reconcilable? Because sometimes it's just like you can't, they can't.
Yeah.
No, you see,
coexist.
already if you know that random works for you, try random more often than the normal. Try it. You've never tried it.
Like a random
accidentally-
person.
Yes, try random. Try people who ignite those thoughts. Instead of you just having the thought of them, try them. You're
Unfortunately,
going
I'm
for this
married with
chiseled
3 kids,
look
but
in your head that this guy, yet there's a guy who you'll never give him your time. Try him.
I get your point. Because why? There's a reason why you're thinking about them.
Yes.
if you like the help, try the help. If you want the
Yeah, exactly.
you want the boss, try the boss. That's what we're saying.
No, it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
She's trying to be something that she's not. And you see, when she says she's struggling,
And
she's
she's feeling
struggling because
guilty.
she's fighting herself.
Yeah.
Can you change? Can you change if you don't want to have to be that person? You know.
Which person?
So, for example, let's say it's clear that she's into more random sex,
Yeah.
but let's say she's Christian and now it's just like, no, me, I don't believe in, just like having casual sex or whatever. So she really, is there a way that she can change that psyche so that she can start enjoying what is not natural to her, or what then come, naturally?
Well, majority of my clients, whether they're from Kenya or from whatever country they come from, most of them come from a religious background and they know me very well. I always tell you, leave religion outside that door.
Understood.
When you call me, leave religion outside that door because religion is not going to help you make squirt. That's why you call me. And then you can go back to other things, but don't let a lot of religion is very constricting, especially towards your sexual happiness because they don't care much about it. So that should be your thing. When you go out and party and dance to the kind of music that you like, most religions will probably say that you're a sinner. But you have that moment. So have that moment with many things that you like. Because guess what? Often than not, women are the ones who sacrifice that part of their sexuality.
That's true.
Men never do. I'm yet to meet a man who sacrifices his sex life because of his religion. And I've met all of them.
That's true.
We're all the same. It's just we behave differently. We know how to switch on to be Catholic or SDA when we're in the house. But we meet all those guys when we go out of town. Matter of fact, some of them who are supposed to be more conservative than me, I've seen them doing some shit. I'm like, God damn. That's some freaky shit.
And for you to say that must
Exactly.
be really freaky.
Exactly, yes. But they hide that because they were taught
Yeah.
that's not who you're supposed to be. So whenever they have the moment to do it, then they do it.
I know I heard you once answer this.
Yes.
So I know you're obviously what you're going to say. But anyway, somebody said, should I marry the good guy if I'm not sexually attracted to him? Other factors are good. Same person asks, how can I make sex feel better with a slim dick? Position ideas. I am the lady.
Okay, there's many parts to that story. Let's start with, should you marry a good guy?
No sexual attraction, but he's really good.
Okay, but you see, regardless of what I tell her, there are boxes that really mean a lot to her.
Right.
So the good guy may come with a lot of provisions. He can provide. He's nice. He's cuddly. Now, the failings could be, for her to even ask a question, maybe she's already sampled and realized that there are other parts of him that hopefully should like them to improve. Chances of improvement are very slim. hence why she's asking the question.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of women marry the good guy, and by the way, the good guy does exist. That the guy who does not cheat, he's very faithful. But then again, cheating only applies to those who subscribe to monogamy. But he's just very proper. I've seen what a lot of wives have done to that guy. They constantly cheat on him because at some point, when that bubble, once she pokes it and she looks around, she goes like, "Oh my god!" And I chose that. Because she describes that guy as boring at some point, smothering, predictable, too loving. Matheka, which guy goes out with his boys for 2 hours and he comes back like clockwork. He comes, like it's like when I said I'll be somewhere at a certain time, he's there. He
This is like
fulfills
your
all
ideal
my
man.
yeses, which means that he says yes to me more often than he says no. Sometimes I can see he's struggling to say no, and I want him to say no, but guess what? He says yes, babe. And that's the moment I just wanted him to say no. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're doing this. So I can go like, that's my man. I've never had that, mother. I've never had that.
Is that unattractive because it's inauthentic?
No, but it was attractive for her
mm.
because it ticked all our boxes.
At that
He's
time,
reliable.
yes.
But once the dust settles,
Mm-hmm.
then she starts to think, all the guys who pursue me, they turn me on. My nipples become hard. You've never made my nipples hard. Unless I really am on some crazy weed or on some martini or on some wine. And she's saying this has never happened. Like, I know who I married. I married the nice guy. But does he channel some energy where my labia start to slap like this? Never.
Not clapping.
Never. Her clit has never grown to look like a little mini penis. That's what she's saying. And it will never, because this guy is a guy of facilitation. That's what I always say. There are guys who will facilitate, and then there are guys who will deal with the lips between your lips.
Is it possible to have both?
On paper, yes.
Mhm.
In reality, it's
Tough.
It's tough. And then you see, we also live in a country where all women who have somebody are attractive. All men who have somebody are attractive. So even the single women and the single men in Kenya are struggling.
You don't want each other.
Yes. And first and foremost, a single woman, if I'm a man, because I talk to a lot of men as well, they will say things like, a single woman comes with her own disadvantages, which are she has time to miss me, call me, text me, complain about do blue ticking.
Lydia,
You see,
confirm?
she has time to make this into a relationship, yet right now we're just having a fling. Yeah. And then, and also, let's put it this way. It's like the model back then where maybe all men want to have a virgin. No, we don't. Why introduce me to a virgin? I want to have sex, not to be a professor. I want to have fun.
Yeah.
I don't know asking me
Don't
questions.
teach.
Why am I in this position? Oh, why did I squirt? Oh, why is my vagina swollen? Like, we're not doing a class. I need to enjoy. So it's good to have a woman who's been around. My girth can't be
You
the first
heard it
girth.
here
that.
first.
No.
You heard it
That.
here. Thank
My
you.
girth cannot be the
a
only
hoe.
girth you've dealt with.
Be a
That does
hoe.
not make me feel manly. And the guys who feel manly based on that are not sexual men. They're not. They'll never give you the sex you deserve. But you give them your ear all the time. Why? Because they tell you things that sound credible, viable, and sweet. Until he does not deliver, then now you call Masimba later on. But like I said, we're patient. We just chill.
By the way, his bracelet is written Masimba.
Yes, of course.
You need to.
But what's it?
yeah.
Are Masimbas people who are trying to be in relationships? Because Masimbas look like they want to just have a good time.
To be honest, most Masimbas I've met cannot be toned.
Mm.
Toned meaning they'll be in a relationship, but they'll be in a relationship with a woman who thinks like them.
Okay.
Open polyamory.
The worst thing a Masimba can do to themselves is be with a woman who is traditional.
Mm.
They will not work.
Right.
He'll waste her time, she'll waste his time.
Mm.
And the good thing is this, there's nothing wrong with that because there are free-spirited women out there.
Yeah.
I've met enough wives who just by talking to her for 2 hours, I can tell she's the Masimba version of the woman.
Mm-hmm.
She feels like she's in a zoo. But she had to do the zoo thing because she was taught at some point you need to be a wife, you need to be a mother, you need to be settled, you need to have a home, you need to have a sitting room, you need to have nice dining
A
ware,
green
you need
plant
to,
behind.
yeah, a plant, you need to drive a car, you
Really
need to
nice
at
curtains,
some point you
really
need a
nice
small car,
curtains.
then you have a big car, and the big car is because you need to have a family. She went with the conveyor belt system. But now that she's grown, her vagina is twitching in ways and saying, hey, sometimes we just need to leave this environment and go to the wild where we belong.
So sometimes you meet those people and you just tell them, consider being in an open marriage, consider polyamory.
Okay, the thing is, I don't tell them to consider because most of them, even without knowing the partner, is the opposite of them, is the traditional. And traditional does not mean that he does not have fun. It just means he does not want her to have the fun he has.
Right.
That's the difference.
Okay.
And okay, when I say things like I love to watch two women having sex together, that's my thing. And so many men in Kenya who are conservative love the same shit because we've watched it together. But if you ask him, have you ever invited this in your sphere with your woman? Oh, no. And guess what? When you go to his home, you won't recognize that person.
All right.
Like you, I'm seeing now, and the guy we spend the weekend with, these are two different niggas. Who the hell is this? And he's looking at you with a stern face of whoever you think I am versus who I need to be right now. Please know the difference. So people are pretentious. They're not living the lives they should.
What have we learned today?
I prefer not to go down that
Me
path.
too.
Here's a question: How can a woman know when that she is good at sex? Because I heard you mentioning something about like someone has said, "Oh, he's really good in bed," but it's like, no, he can't be if X and Y and Z. So maybe Lydia has been going around thinking she's so good at sex. Maybe she's horrible at sex.
Why Lydia?
You're the only person sat in front of me. Yeah. So how do we know? How do we know that we're good at sex? Because I feel like
She just
men
threw you
will,
under the bus,
yeah,
huh?
men will ejaculate regardless. I
Yeah.
feel, you see. So how can we know really if we are good in bed?
Okay.
Affirm us, please.
Good in bed can depend on all things, but if I'm going to describe what I would consider good in bed for a woman is, you and I, everything we're doing syncs.
Okay.
Like, and then there's my energy, which is I'm more of the dom. I don't need you to submit. I actually don't like the word submission too much. But I just like a woman who is willing for me to lead. And then sometimes based on something she might be doing, then she leads as well. But there has to be a sync.
So it's
Yeah,
more
but I'm
about
also-
It's more
alignment.
an
Yeah,
us thing.
yeah. But then, yeah, but I'm also not the greatest person to ask because the traditional guy, the minute he sees there's no sync, he could lose his erection because he's thinking, could be we're not compatible. Now, I'm different because I already know what your potential is just by seeing. So I'll teach you what your potential is. So I'll bring out that side of you. I'll bring out the sexual goddess you are not even aware of. And then I'll make you good in bed. You see? But now the problem is there's so many humans out there who are not willing, as long as it's not plug and play, they give up.
Because there's a million people you could have sex with. So.
Yeah, but now it means that you may have dismissed the one person that if you taught each other how to align, that would be the ultimate sexual experience. And this has got nothing to do with love. This has everything to do with sexual chemistry, which is very hard to find when you throw in love. When you throw in love, when you throw in provisions, when you throw in so many things, it's very hard. So it's important to know that sometimes alignment is by chance.
Yeah.
Did you know that regardless of my penis size and my girth, especially if I have good girth, it doesn't mean this girth is going to pleasure every single woman because the texture of my girth and the texture of your inner vagina do not align. So you feel me, I spread you. I probably even spread you more than you've been spread before. But there's just something about the alignment. There could be even something to do with how I stroke you versus how your vagina likes it are two different things. So sometimes we overlook this
Right.
because we've said we've had sex so many times. I'd be a bad person to say that this is not working.
Mhm.
And then we end up in dysfunctional sexual relationships, and the sex will always come and crucify the relationship, because I'll always have a reference point that if that day my brain just told me to leave you and left, I would not be here. Because I've had both men and women tell me, I love my kids, but if I just left at this moment, I wouldn't have my kids. So that's the challenge.
Of
Like,
course, yeah. So you
like,
can't not be
I don't want
neglecting
to
your kids.
not ever have known my kids.
Yeah.
But if I had just said, and the reason why they're saying this is because my kids are working, but me and my person I know will never work. For those of you who are watching, when it comes to couples, I have actually had sessions with couples where at the end of the session, my conclusion was the worst thing that happened is that you met.
That was going to be my next question. It's just like,
Bloody hell.
like, are there times when it's just like this? It will just not work. You guys should just divorce.
But guess what? We also live in cultures where we're not supposed to leave each other. Hence why they've got all these words like persevere, sacrifice. There's a lot of that going on. And then you see what we do as Kenyans is we stick somewhere where the sex is crap, knowing, but next week there's somewhere else I go. I have my fill of my cold store ice cream. Then I come back home to this, because this is normal. Matter of fact, being miserable is almost a box you need to tick. You're not miserable, you're not normal. Your person is lying to you. That's what I hear from Kenyans. And that's why couples don't have the courage to go online and say, by the way, we cracked it. We had issues, but we cracked it. We found love. We found connection. You guys are boring. That person. That's the society we're
You're
in.
pretending to be
You're
perfect.
pretending.
Yet
yeah.
they're telling you genuinely, we went through the muck, but now we've cracked the stuff. I've even realized I've been holding her back. She also likes girls. I've met guys who literally admitted to me that I've been holding when I met her, did she kiss one or two girls when she was high? Yeah, but I just thought that was a phase. It's not a phase. That's another thing with Kenyans. What's up with us and phases? It's not a phase. Listen, I've always loved vanilla ice cream. Always. It's not a phase. So if I say that I love anal sex, it's not a phase. At some point, I want to bump somebody's ass. Because I love the way she has an orgasm through anal sex.
Another snippet.
But somebody will say, oh, it's just a phase. It's not a phase. From the day you tasted chapati, has it been a phase? Because there's been many phases. I've seen you eat chapati so many times.
But it's because of the shame surrounding those particular things. So poor, like you want to be like, it's just
You'd
over there, but
rather
it's not
have
part of
chapati
me.
than have an orgasm through anal sex? Which chapatis are you guys eating? I'd rather the anal sex any day.
Same.
I've had chapatis made from Africans, Indians, and anybody else, but they're still not good as the kind of sex I like. When I say I want a woman to squirt in my mouth, oh, no. That's something, it's because you didn't do it when you were younger. I did it when I was younger. That's why I'm doing it now. I liked it.
You've been doing it.
You do it. Then you go like, is this for me? Is it not for me? Then you keep the things that are for you. This phases is crap. And that's why you find in Africa, we decommission vaginas sooner than we do penises. Yet vaginas have a longevity that penises don't.
Wow.
I taught a woman who's 74 years old how to squirt this year.
No.
She doesn't look it, but I did.
74.
Yes, and she has 2 boyfriends. But what keeps her young is her mentality towards herself.
Yeah.
Today, 74 is shushu. Some of you are even 40, you're looking like shushu because of your mentality, not because that's how you're supposed to look.
Who knew this was going to be a drag session? Who knew?
Yet
Who
we have no
knew?
issue with 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds as long as they're men flirting about with younger women.
You're right. Yeah. Ooh, no one wants to have that conversation.
Every person, whether you're male or female, as long as you engage yourself to be a sexual person, should have it until the day you drop. It's simple as that. Why are we decommissioning vaginas? Healthy vaginas. I've seen vaginas who are 60 that look better than the vagina that's 20. And you decommission that vagina, how? Her vagina is always going to be sweeter anyway. Any day. All the women's vaginas will all be sweeter. Any day.
Thank you.
Most men just like a younger woman because she's easier to manipulate and she pampers you like a 5-year-old. And also, looking at the two of you, you're exposed, correct?
Yeah.
You've had your troubles.
Yeah.
If I wanted to take you out somewhere, out of town, there's a certain hotel you'd like to go to.
Mhm.
Now, if I get the bill, I might get erectile dysfunction. Correct. Yet I have the money, but I'm thinking, why are we spending that kind of money? Doesn't matter how much is
Right.
squirting in my nose. Why are we spending that kind of money? Whereas with a younger woman,
You
Right.
take her to like
Quarter.
literally, yeah.
quarter of the budget. Yes. I'm having an erection that looks like my arm. Why? Because the budget is friendly. I have the money, yes. Because older women always ask me, all these men, we meet them, we go on dates with them, but they never ask us, hey, can I take you to Zanzibar? Yet I know he took some young chick who he tells me he's not really into the way he's into me. Yes, it's because
Pressure.
she is going to go and pamper him.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to go and cuddle him and say, oh my God, I love you, Goldie. Oh my God, you're so sexy. And at that age, he needs that. He needs that. And there are men who never had it. So now that he has some money, now he's a bit older, he's thinking it's my turn. You see what I'm saying?
Get to pampering, ladies.
Whereas, let's be honest,
Mhm.
the two of you, by the time you're pampering a guy like a 5-year-old,
Nah.
he needs to have earned it. Let's just start there.
Mhm.
You're not just doing it over a random weekend. You'll pamper him because you've consciously told yourself, it doesn't matter how old I am, I'm going to be a 16-year-old for this man.
Yeah,
True or
you need
false?
to
You
put
need to
yourself.
Yes.
Calm down. Calm
The
down.
guy has no time to wait for that weekend to come.
Right.
You see?
So many things to consider, it would appear. It would
Death is
appear.
also optional,
It's-
guys. it looks like the end is also not that bad because bloody hell, it just feels like balancing
What are we balancing?
it seems there's so many moving parts, but as you said, it's effort. And maybe it's like work we just need to put in.
And
Yeah.
that's
To be
why we
having
have
better sex
70%
life.
of couples
Mm.
are mismatched.
That
But
is
they
tragic.
only know that
Mm.
once the dust settles. It's very easy for us to meet. And then the next stage is we start courting each other. Then after that, there's always this question of, is this going to be more than fun? But that word fun is what everybody runs back to.
Right. Everyone's running back to fun.
Let's assume you and I met and you told me you want more than fun. So I know what that means. I've now engaged you. You're now my woman and everything. And we're having fun, but we're more than fun. It's even giving me a headache just thinking about it. But now we get to the point where we forget to have fun. You start having your fun. I start having my fun. The one thing you said was not that strong, would not keep us together,
Yeah.
is the one thing we have lost. It's important to have fun. Fun is important. Don't you make time? I mean, if you have kids, you take your kids out to a play center. They would have
Them to
played
have
in the
fun.
house, correct? How their eyes light up when they go to that play center is how our eyes light up when we go to Naivasha and we see a vagina that wants to squirt in our mouths. If we are not having that fun as a couple, things are just going to collapse.
Yeah.
If the only thing I can see you is mama so-and-so, my wife, and then this word respectable wife, respectable and vagina squatting does not align. It just doesn't. It doesn't. And then
So
some of you want to be
we must
ladies.
choose
No,
or
don't
what?
call
Now
me,
we must
don't call me a
choose.
chick. Don't call me girl. It doesn't matter how old you are. Whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, allow yourself to be called a girl because girl in a man's brain tells me what I'm thinking of you as. Girl is not, it's not a demotion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Men have never sat down and gone like, hey, boss, did you see the way I was kamating that lady? We've never used those words. It's always a girl. And that girl could be 55, but she was a girl. That's what turns me on. It's like these words, making love. What is that?
Ask Lydia.
What is that?
She laughs.
There's studies around
My
the
mic
world.
is not working.
Yeah,
I'm talking.
is it?
There's studies around the world that have proven that the words making love are just what a woman translates based on what she feels sexually. There was two groups, group A, group B. Group A men were told, make love to these women. And everyone was in the study. Group B were told, just do you. Do her the way you do as a man. Group A were interviewed. Almost 80% of the women said it was probably the worst sex I've ever had. The men were told just be you. Those women were actually describing it as no one's ever made love to me that way.
So don't tell men making love.
No.
Okay.
Because
In fact, let's just abandon the phrase altogether, I would say.
yes, because the words that ignite us is sex, fucking, just things that are a bit animalistic. Making love confuses guys, especially the traditional African guy, because now what you're telling him to do is things that don't come naturally to you. So he's going to try starting nibbling your ears. Now, instead of being erotic, he's just filled
saying
your
all the
ear
things
with
she
saliva. You're
No,
going
I don't like
"Why am I
that.
deaf?"
No,
You know
the
what I'm
ear.
saying?
Mm-mm.
And that, you know what I'm saying? And he wants to give you a French kiss. He thinks a French kiss is from France. So now he starts doing things with your nose. Like, what the hell is going on? And if you see a guy forming his lips like a tilapia, you know you're about to get a bad kiss.
Do you start off with couples? Because I feel like the journey should start like
As individual,
date 3.
right? Yes.
Date 3.
Or from the beginning, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
because it's like first of all, it's obviously reversible. Like if you do get into a coupling and it's like you guys have gone into this habit,
Yeah.
you help people to kind of get back to themselves.
Yes. When you ask, do I deal with the... okay, the thing is, there's a way humans like courting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it I'm against. So people won't listen to me about courtship.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because courtship should not be the niceties that we exchange. Because that's just crap.
It should be.
What should it be?
It should be real.
Okay, like.
It should be, if I'm out on a date with you,
Mhm.
I need to tell you exactly who I am sexually.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we pretending
Mm.
that this is not going to be sexual?
Mm-hmm.
No, for real. No. Why are we pretending?
Courtesy, like just trying to be
Courtesy.
easing into
Courtesy is this
things.
person should not drop coffee on me. That's the only courtesy that should be happening here. Listen, at some point, my girth is going to mingle with your inner vagina. Why aren't we discussing that?
It just seems
Why are we here
crude.
going
It
like,
seems
so what do you
crude.
do? Oh, I'm an architect. Now I have to pretend that I'm into architecture. Oh my God, do you know this building? Oh. Listen, why are we talking about architecture in Italy when the disastrous sex is going to happen in South B? No, for real. Why are we talking about, have you been to Bulgaria? Bulgaria is not going to help us. Now,
Dating is
I'm trying to
ruined.
tell you I can
Dating is
afford to get on a
ruined.
plane. Oh, I went on a seminar. How are these going to help us? Oh, I bought land in Kajiado. Oh, I have money. Yes, but the minute your vagina realizes that she's going to be under some weathers that only deep sea fishermen usually experience, things are not going to work out. So why were we pretending at the date?
It's so that it's not just about sex. So it doesn't appear to be like I'm just here for sex.
No,
Because
but no. You see, so are we here for KPLC and paying bills and water and school fees? Is that what we're saying?
But we can do
we're
both.
we're
right?
here for companionship
no,
and
no.
friendship.
Yeah, but those are for storybooks. Those are for Mills and Boons. Look at the way you've said companionship, friendship. I have so many friends. I didn't need to be on this date. First, I don't have dates with my friends. Let's just start there. And I'm not usually looking so deeply into my friends' eyes, insinuating. Like, I don't know why I need to be sucking on something. You know what I'm saying? So why are we pretending? There's a pretense. And let me tell you, a lot of couples I met, I always tell them, your problem started with your first, second, and third date. You are not open to one another. You sold each other bullshit. And it's when they're a bit older, they realize, wow, you're right. We sold each other what we thought the other person needs to know, not what I truly feel.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
So there's a lot of pretense that goes on during courtship. That is what now sows the seeds
Yeah.
for disappointment.
You have to be Miss Good Girl. I'm Mr. Good Boy.
Mhm.
It doesn't work in the long run. It comes to bite, because then you start saying, he changed. I didn't change. I just never told you I was. He never said he loves certain things, and now he seems to be into them. No, I've always been into them. But
So
when I went to that date with you, I had to bring the villager out of me.
So you're saying we, like now, day 1, 2, and 3, we should definitely be talking about sex.
It doesn't have to be the first thing we talk about.
Mhm.
But what I've learned is, if we're on a date and I start flirting with you
Mhm.
and you're not flirting back,
Mm.
then we can't have a second date. That's how
Okay.
dates work.
Mhm.
That's another thing people also have a problem with. I tell people, when you go on a date, have a big pool of people. So sometimes people will ask me, what do you mean big pool? If you ask me, you should go on a date with at least 20 to 30 people, if possible.
I'm tired already.
But Kenyans, the first person you go on a date, you put all the other 20, 30 people on them. You have to be everything that I've ever wanted. You put so much pressure on me. Whereas I need to be me, so you can be like, maybe you can just be a friend, but I don't think I can date him. Yeah? Yeah. But now if we bring A game, we're lying to one another. Because especially if you're dealing with Mafisi, they're very good at sussing you out and going like, especially if he says something like, do you want kids? Yeah, I think I want 3. Let's go with that.
Perfect.
Let's go with family. Right now, I'm going to be a family guy. Yeah.
Do they do that consciously or it just happens? Like, it
Is
just
that how it's
naturally
the
happens
natural
to them.
dance?
Yeah.
For who?
Like now they're Mafisi. Is it just like they hear
No,
you?
there's nothing natural.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing natural at all. If Mafisi could have their way, you just tell them, look, nigga, I know you want me. I'll give you that. So can we just be us? No one does that. Because I've had women tell me, there's this guy, I've been on dates with him, but I can see he's bringing his A game all the time. A game, A game. What do I do to just know him as him? The first thing I have to ask her is, have you decided whether you're fucking him or not? And she says, yes, I want to fuck him. Good. Next time you meet him, when he's bringing on his A game, just tell him, nigga, chill. Coochie, you will get. When? I don't know. It might not be tonight, but you'll get. So now can we just talk about everything else? He will suddenly open up. You'll be him. He won't be that guy who's trying to sell you everything you want to hear.
I'll do field work, guys. I'll be back.
And I love that. Yeah. Present yourself as a sacrifice.
I
to go
will
and find out
sacrifice
for us.
myself.
Yeah.
You will. And it will work. And guess what? You'll start laughing together and talking about mundane things because the problem is we're
not
always
trying to-
talking about, I'm trying to be intelligent. I don't want to be intelligent. I just want to have fun. Let's have fun.
There's actually a guy who were really stuck in that loop of like just kind of intelligent talk, and they had the least amount of sexual
annoying.
chemistry.
Yes. Because
Yeah.
what does intelligent, what does that look
Yeah.
like?
And also, he used to say things like when he talks about me or complimenting me,
Yeah.
he used to say like intelligent woman.
Yes.
I
Now that's
already
crap.
know.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's crap.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because you
That's
need to
why it
ask
didn't work
him,
out.
have you ever been
Yeah.
with a woman? Then you've just gone like, stupid woman.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you need to mention what you're seeing, yeah? So if he's intelligent, at least he must have met stupid. Did
Yeah.
he say it? No. So it's hogwash. We're just sharing shit to make the other person feel good, yet you're not being your authentic self. I would rather you walked away, but you walked away because you met me. You didn't meet the me that I'm selling to you,
Yeah.
because that's not sustainable.
And by the way, when someone else is selling themselves, it's like you feel like you're doing it too. It's like it's just like an air.
Yeah.
You just
Of
feel
everyone
it.
is trying to. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you want to match. You want
It's
to.
weird, yeah. It's like you've come with this, and then so you're like, okay, this is what you want. It's really uncomfortable actually.
Have you guys had this experience? Because I get this, it's like a weekly thing where women will come in and say, I was on this date and I don't know why that guy talked about biashara, contracts, things he has. And he's only doing that because he thinks that's what's sellable.
That's really unattractive actually.
There's even a client of mine, the guy offered her a title deed during
What?
their date.
You're
Niggas are
joking.
working very hard.
Wow.
A title deed.
A whole shamba.
Yes.
I hope she took it.
And her being a woman, guess what she asked me? Do you think you were serious? I'm like, really? Like, I don't even want to discuss the title deed. I don't know whether you're serious or not. But that's not what you should supposed to be. Because that's what he's selling you. You're going to be with him because of a piece of paper.
Yeah.
So you'll never get to know them.
So what you've said is make it clear that you're going to have sex regardless so that he can be his true, authentic self.
Yes. And also open up to men who have the courage to tell you, you know, especially if you have experience as a woman, there's a guy who says something and you can tell, this guy, that's just a line.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy like the one you described where you're like, he's just being him. Like, he's so blunt, but he didn't flinch. Like, he just said it as it is.
I was shooketh.
And that's
Yeah.
and you let him go.
Shook
You
it.
let him go.
Yeah, because I've met a woman who told me that the husband she has today, who according to her is the best man she'll ever have, was the kind of man she'd never give a second chance. Like she'd never even. And it's when they met, the guy just went up to her and he was like, "By the way, I just love your tits. I think one day I'll just suck them." And a voice in her head said, "Usually by now I've either slapped him or given him a look or walked away. But because he cannot do any of those things without consent, let me see what more he has to offer." And she said, "I fell in love with him because once I got to know him, I realized this guy is just real. Everything that comes out of his mouth
Is what it is.
it's real. It's going to hurt you. It's going to make you happy." And then she compared why all our other relationships didn't work, because she just went for the guy who was prim and proper in how he accords you this
Yeah.
respect and holding doors and shit. Don't hold doors if you've never held doors.
It's how
Don't
he
pull
is.
chairs if you've never pulled chairs, because it's not sustainable. It's not. One day I'll even forget that you're behind me. Yet I was holding the door all the time. Why? Because now we're getting too used to each other. But if it's something instinctive that I know I like doing, it's like that guy who wakes up and because he wants to show you he's a bit romantic, he starts kissing your forehead. He kisses your forehead. The day he forgets to kiss your forehead,
That's
He
it.
doesn't
He's
love me
changed,
anymore.
Joe.
He doesn't
He-
love
he
me
hates
anymore.
me.
That's it.
yeah, yet his forehead kissing times are done. He's retired from that. And he did it because it was not him doing it. He was doing it for you. The first time he did it, you were like, "Oh, God, no one's ever done that. Oh, I'll keep doing that for a while." And then one day, a while is, I think I'm tired of just kissing your forehead all the time. Why aren't you kissing mine?
Guys,
This episode could go on for
is that a good
3
place
hours
to end? Do you
too.
feel attacked enough? Are you tense enough? Are you dysregulated
Unclench,
enough? 'Cause
unclench your
I'm
butt
done.
cheeks.
Unclench.
Unclench. Me too.
I don't know what you've done to my dating. Maybe you've changed it for the better. To be
be
decided,
discussed and
I
yes.
will I return back and we'll see what has changed
God.
coming on. But thank you so much for sharing yourself so honestly and authentically,
Thank you.
and
for the
holding
invite.
absolutely nothing
I've had
back.
fun.
Literally.
Huh?
I usually don't hold back.
Oh, we know.
And I have a feeling this is not the last time you're going to be on our podcast.
I think so.
I said
No,
just
invite me.
like-
I'll be back. I'll be
I
back.
feel
I've
like we
had-
could have done
I've
like
had
a
lot of
one
fun.
talking one and then
And
one a
question,
dilemma one.
literally.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
but you know
right.
what? He's open to coming back again, guys.
Yeah.
So
I'll be back.
please share any of your comments below. We're gonna put all his details down below. Your Instagram page.
It's Maurice Matheka. Very simple.
We're gonna put all the details below. If you want to get a consultation, if you think that you and your man or yourself would
Or
like
just yourself
to
even.
connect, this is a good birthday gift, guys. This is a good birthday gift. Yeah, but I've really enjoyed the conversation. So thank you so much.
Me too. So much. I actually feel like you've called into question my entire view on sex, on marriage,
Everything.
on coupling. Just a lot to think about, certainly.
Yeah.
Super.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome.
Thank you
been
guys
fun.
so much. It has been fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you in our next episode.
See ya.